It's become an all-too-common sight on LA streets. Meth addicts shooting up and smoking almost anywhere you turn. They do it on sidewalks, in front of businesses, at the metro station. Needles litter the streets, some even washed in public fountains.
Everybody got drugs, pretty much.
And Skid Row is ground zero. We're bringing you along as we pull back the curtain on who is fueling and cashing in on this addiction epidemic.
Meth, crystal?
Yeah, I know where to get it at.
The answer is found south of the border, with a ruthless Mexican cartel responsible for almost all the drugs on LA streets. And their leader is the DEA's most wanted man, with a $10 million bounty on his head.
It's a very significant award, and he's #1 on our list.
Fox 11 investigates the hunt for El Mencho. You're about to witness a deadly cartel versus cartel ambush. This video, seized by Mexico's elite preventive state police, also known as the PEP. By the time it's over, several men have been slaughtered. This video shows the PEP in action, a heavy shootout with the cartel in Mexico, where the government fights an uphill battle in an ongoing war against the cartel. But the war amongst those cartels is even worse. Horrific executions, massive shootouts, and public hangings, all used to spread fear and control terror. But there's one cartel in particular that has used that violence to rise to the top, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as CJNG.
CJNG, probably the most prolific cartel in Mexico right now, as far as perpetrating violence and trafficking in drugs. Huge influence on those of us in California.
Bill Bodner is the special agent in charge of DEA Los Angeles. He's the top dog in the division, responsible for overseeing operations at 14 DEA offices. And CJNG is his #1 priority.
They're pushing the drugs that are coming into the community here. They're responsible for part of the homelessness.
And CJNG's leader is DEA LA's #1 target. His name is Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, aka El Mencho. His cartel is responsible for 1/3 of all the drugs in the United States, and he's filled the void left behind after the capture of El Chapo, leader of the Sinaloa cartel.
To some extent, I feel Chapo was a bit overrated. Mencho's probably worse. He's probably worse because he's more professional and he's more focused on business and he's more focused on disciplined business.
The results of that business are terrifying. In 2011, CJNG slaughtered 35 members of the Zeta cartel, then dumped their bodies on a highway during rush hour. In 2015, CJNG shot down a Mexican Army helicopter, killing 9 on board. And this past October, the cartel killed 13 police officers in another ambush. Last year, CJNG filmed this video after they captured 4 state police officers who were later tortured and executed.
It troubles me because this isn't Iraq. This isn't Afghanistan. You know, this is literally a 2.5 hour drive from where I'm sitting right now.
But most troublesome to Bodner is the amount of CJNG drugs finding their way to Los Angeles, where the cartel has an extensive network.
It comes into Los Angeles in wholesale quantities. It's not unusual for us now to seize 100 pounds of meth, 200, 300, 400 pounds of meth at one location in Los Angeles.
Bodner says LA street gangs act as intermediaries with the cartel. They'll break the meth up and put it out to street dealers.
And those street dealers will then prey upon the addicts in Los Angeles.
And the effects have been devastating. Fox 11 filmed this video just across the street from LAPD's Central Division in downtown LA. This addict openly shooting up in front of us. Another smoking meth from a pipe. Perhaps even more shocking, a random man walks up, asks if he can have some. He takes a hit, and then he's just on his way.
How much crystal do we need?
Moments later, this hooded drug dealer approaches our crew, offering to sell meth, which isn't hard to find in the area.
Meth is down that way.
Where?
Down on 16.
Meth, crystal?
Yeah, I know where to get it at.
I had to get off because I had a stroke.
This man told us he's a former addict. He showed us the numerous staph infections all over his body, telling us he used to live in Arcadia and has been on the streets for 2 years.
I've been down here because I don't want to hurt anybody anymore.
It gets emotional. I mean, I've lived in this city for 28 years, so I've seen the direction that we're going now. It's almost a scene out of a movie where there's people just wandering down the street pulling a sleeping bag. The streets are closed. They're just wandering aimlessly around with shopping carts and everything. That's what it's come to.
This is a drug crisis that needs a National Guard response.
Reverend Andy Bales is the CEO of the Union Rescue Mission in downtown LA. He lost his leg to infection after stepping in human waste on Skid Row in 2014, but he's continued dedicating his life to helping the homeless. He tells me he's witnessing the addiction crisis firsthand.
And we're getting behaviors both outside and inside the mission that we've never seen before. People in almost a catatonic state, people passing out, violent, unexplainable episodes. The folks who are participating with cartels, they're actually participating with destroying their own brothers and sisters here on the streets.
And Bodner tells me he believes California's Prop 47, which changed drug possession from a felony to a misdemeanor, is enabling this addiction cycle and playing right into the cartel's hands.
It's difficult to find a part of LA now where there's not needles on the street. There's no reason to be afraid for shooting up in public. There's no motivation to go to treatment. They used to be given a choice. Do you want to go to jail? Do you want to get a felony conviction, or do you go to treatment? There's no hammer now. Now they get a ticket. They get a ticket, they tear it up, they walk away, they're using drugs the same day, again. So it has not worked.
I asked the other day, are we all going to be judges as accessories to this if we allow it to continue?
To the cartel, the thousands of addicts on LA streets are all cash cows, a constant base of customers, allowed to use without fear or intervention. Victims of a drug empire, led by a man being pursued with wiretaps, informants, and every resource at the DEA's disposal.
If El Mencho ever somehow sees this report, what do you want him to know?
Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Stay awake, because we'll be there.
And ironically, El Mencho actually used to live right here in California about 30 years ago. He was arrested in San Francisco and Sacramento on drug charges and was later deported back to Mexico, where he obviously got involved in the cartels. Now, DEA LA, they're the ones that have the lead on his case, and they say the closest they've been to finding him so far is hot food left on a stove. Now they're asking for your help. If you have any information whatsoever that can lead to his arrest, you're asked to call the DEA immediately at 213-237-9990 or email them at menchotips@usdoj.gov. And remember, there is a $10 million reward for his capture. Wow. It's a lot of money, guys.
$10 million. Prop 47, the misdemeanor, the DEA doesn't like it, but others disagree.
Right, so today I talked to some of the advocates of Prop 47, some of the people who helped write it, and their biggest pushback is sending addicts to jail isn't the answer. And you know what? That may very well be true. But how is the answer what we're doing right now? We're leaving people out in the streets to openly shoot up over and over and over, and we're all sitting back and watching these people morbidly rot from the inside out. Wow. How is that the answer? Yeah. Is there not a happy medium? We're not sending people to treatment anymore? So we're going to have to figure something out because it's not working.
Questions.
Yeah.
All right, Bill Maluzhin, thank you so much.